And we're still in the Southern Africa region where the Kingdom of Eswatini, Africa's last absolute monarchy, is holding parliamentary elections while political parties remain banned. The Constitution emphasizes individual merits for selecting lawmakers who cannot be affiliated with any political group. With most candidates loyal to the king, the election is unlikely to change the political landscape. About 585,000 registered voters will be called to choose some 50 plus members of the lower house of parliament, which plays only an advisory role to the monarch. Now, the spokesperson for the Swaziland Solidarity Network, Mfanafuthi Tsela, joins me now on the news as we look at these elections. Mfanafuthi, welcome to the news. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you to you and your viewers for having me.
So I know it might seem strange to many people that there are elections being held and those who are running cannot be affiliated with any political party. So take us through sort of the historical context and the reasons behind Eswatini's ban on political parties, particularly the emphasis on individual merits for selecting lawmakers.
Thank you very much. I think if you are aware about Swaziland is that Swaziland got independence from Britain in 1968. And at the time, it like other countries, like Botswana, like Lesotho, like all of the British colonies, they inherited independent, a democratic like constitution, the Westminster Constitution. And for Swaziland, from 1968 to 1973, Swaziland was under the constitution, the democratic constitution. And then it was repealed by the then king, the father of the current king, in 1973. And the king became an absolute ruler with the executive, the judicial, and the legislative powers all vested in him. So this issue, 1978, he introduced what he called a Swazi version of democracy, or a Swazi system of governance, where he introduced the Tingundla system, where people are elected on individuals. Because in 1973, he has banned political parties. So there is no individual merit on the system, because you don't have like the freedom of expression, you don't have the freedom of association.
Yes. So
it's got nothing to do with merit. It's just got something to do with the people who are in charge of the country. So it's got nothing to do with
merit, as you said.
With merit, yes.
Apologies. This comes across as a very unique set of election dynamics or even governance dynamics. And with candidates loyal to the king, you're talking about this really being an election that has nothing to do with merit. How does this impact the country's political structure, the political drive? I know in recent years we've seen a larger narrative and a larger conversation towards making Eswatini a democracy. So how does this unique set of election dynamics affect the country's governance structure?
As you know, that if a country is not democratic, it means it's dictatorial. So for Swaziland, like what has happened is that for Swaziland to become democratic is what the power to move from absolute monarch. That are taking place.
All right, it seems we're having some technical difficulties with our guest there, and unfortunately we have to let him go. But we'll keep a close eye on this. Eswatini is having elections, but it's a very particular kind of elections, as people are banned from being members of political parties. And at the end of it, many people are seen to be loyal to the king. So some 585,000 Swaziland voters are going to be electing just 59 members of the lower house of parliament, which seems to play an advisory role to the king of Africa's last absolute monarchy.